Welcome everyone to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Jay-Z. I am a fragrance enthusiast and collector with over 150 fragrances in my collection. You might have seen me on Instagram or TikTok already, where I currently already have quite some followers. But now I decided to start on YouTube as well because I wanted to share my passion with the YouTube community too. What is a better way to introduce myself showing my 4 favorite fragrances in my collection? So I am gonna talk about my top 4 fragrances in the collection, which is incredibly hard to make because as a fragrance collector and a fragrance enthusiast with this many fragrances in the collection, your weekly top 4, top 5 might change. Like, you will discover and experience so many new fragrances during the week that it is impossible to make a top 5 of all time, for example. If you look at things that have a special place in my heart, fragrances that I have good memories with, I decided to make a top 4 that I'm going to show you guys. Let's dive right into it. So first of all, this might be my number 1 favorite of all time currently. It is Purpose by Amouage. Now Purpose is definitely one of the strongest fragrances I have in my collection. This lasts easily over 24 hours on my skin. This is smoky, it's peppery, it's citrusy. There is no other fragrance that smells like this. You cannot compare it with anything else. I discovered it when I was on a trip with my dad in Norway. We were walking in the mountains, a lot of snow, cold, freezing cold, I can tell you that. And that is basically what describes this fragrance perfectly. I always say that if there's a fragrance that smells like freedom, gotta be this one. It is so peppery with the frankincense, there's bergamot in here, there's pimento in here. It's a bit piney as well. This is just perfection in a bottle and it smells so unique. You don't want to know how much attention I grab with this piece only. Now let's go to the second one, which is Ambre Nuit by Christian Dior. Now I discovered this about, let's say 2 years ago. And when I smelled this for the first time, I was like, I don't know, it smells good, but it reminded me of a lot of other fragrances. But I tried it for a couple times on my skin, I gave it a couple full wearings, and then something happened. A spark. I was like, this is actually pretty good. And I ended up making so many memories with this fragrance that it just took a special place in my heart, because you know, a fragrance doesn't really have to smell good. If you have a special memory with it, it's always different than just a fragrance that just smells good, you know? I would choose memories over the scent itself at all times, and that is basically what this does. Besides that, it does smell phenomenal as well. It's just not very strong, doesn't evolve that much on the skin, has notes of amber and rose. It's a pretty flat scent, but incredibly well blended, and you need to try this out. Now the third one is the fragrance where it all started for me. It's Tom Ford Oud Wood. Who doesn't know this fragrance? This is a hate or love fragrance, I don't care. This is definitely one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It is where it all started for me. I was about 14 years old, walked into a warehouse, walked up to some section called Tom Ford fragrances, never heard of it before, and this was the first thing I grabbed. Like, sprayed it on the strip, smelled it, and as a 13-year-old liking Oud Wood, that is pretty special. And at that time, at that point, I knew that I was into dark, mysterious, unique fragrances, and I didn't really want to join the mass appealing group. So, as the secret says, manifesting is real. Law of attraction. When I turned 18 years old, I bought it. And that was finally the moment where I felt like it would suit me the best. This is dark, it's really woody, it has an oud accord, not a real oud, which you can definitely smell. It's not sour and amalgamic at all. It is an oud accord, but the blend in here with the other accords, with the woody notes, is incredibly good. It's really ambery, it's a bit sweet, has a sweetness in the base, but works incredibly well on my skin. Dress classy with it, wear a nice suit, and you can pull this off like a beast. The last one isn't the strongest either. It's Afternoon Swim by Louis Vuitton. Now, I bought this fragrance when I broke my Pacific Chill bottle on vacation, and I just wanted the new Louis Vuitton fragrance, and I got a sample with my Pacific Chill from this one. So I smelled it on my skin, I was like, maybe this is even better than Pacific Chill. Now you cannot really compare the two because Pacific Chill is a lot fruitier, while this is more focused on aquatic notes, ambergris in the base, mandarin. This is like the most realistic mandarin fragrance I have ever tried. That is what makes this so special to me. I feel good wearing this, however it only lasts like 2 hours on the skin, which is a shame for a price tag of 300 euros. That doesn't take away that it's a phenomenal scent. I always love to wear this. I get compliments with it. I like the bottle, I like the magnetic cap, the atomizers are quite good. So there's nothing to really hate on except for the price tag and the longevity. It's just nostalgic to me. This smells like a fresh cocktail when you're chilling at the beach, sandy body, sweat pouring all over you, but you're chill. You smell good, you smell like afternoon swim. You'll do an amazing job pleasing everyone else around you. So this was my top 4 fragrances of all time in my collection currently. I would love to know, what is your top 4 fragrances of all time in your collection, or even if they don't exist in your collection anymore. Let me know down below in the comments. If you like my video, then make sure to drop a like and subscribe for the best fragrance content.